Hello Booktube and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I still am in the middle of 3 books, which I'm still hoping to finish by the end of June, but I will not be including these in the tag. The first question is, what is the best book of the year so far? For me, this has to go to The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden. This book blew my mind. I literally could not put it down. It's based on Russian folklore and it's just about a girl who lives in a village. She can see the sort of spirits and little demons that inhabit her world and how other people don't see these things, and just it's very whimsical, it's very magical, and it just really did it for me. I gave it 5 stars. Next we have the best sequel of the year so far, and for me that has to go to The Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. I was so lucky to have my wish granted on NetGalley by Harper Voyager for this. They gave me it a few months early. I think it might have been back in March or April. The City of Brass is one of my favourite books of all time. My favourite series. It's one of very few series that I've given 5 stars to every book in the series. If you don't know what City of Brass is by now, where have you been? It's one of the biggest adult fantasies that's out recently. It's about a girl who lives in Cairo, Egypt. She's called Nari, and she accidentally summons a djinn to her side when she's doing a ritual. She's a bit of a con man, she's a bit of a thief, and she accidentally summons Dara, who is a djinn, and he is awesome, she is awesome. This series is insanely good, it's so well written, and you really just need to pick it up. Number 3 is a new release that you haven't read yet. For this I have Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Bashardoust. I have the Fairy Loot edition here, which has these kind of khaki sprayed edges. There's a sapphic romance in it. I do like to go into books like not knowing too much about what's happening, but I do know it's sort of monster princess, some kind of demon. I'm excited to pick this up. Number 4, we have my most anticipated books for the second half of 2020. For this, I would have Lightbringer by Claire Legrand is probably the top one I'm excited for, because the cliffhanger at the end of Kingsbane, I was gagged. I have been waiting. It comes out in October. I will have been waiting nearly 2 years for this book. I am so excited. I'm so nervous for what's going to happen to these characters, where these characters are going to go, and I really need to know what happens. The first book in the series is called Kingsbane, and it's about 2 separate timelines with 2 different queens. One is the Blood Queen and one is the Sun Queen. It's the kind of storyline where you're not sure which one is which. The Blood Queen will destroy them all, but the Sun Queen will save them all. And it's also basically a series for the bisexuals, as Sam from Thoughts on Tome said. So much sex positivity, there's so much like bisexual energy, and I just love it being bisexual myself. Number 5 is the biggest disappointment of the year so far. The book I'm going to be talking about is The Girl in the Stars by Mark Lawrence. Now, I absolutely adored the Red Sister series. It's called the Book of the Ancestor series. I would still highly recommend that series to anyone. This series is a new series that he's starting, but it's in the same universe, so it's still on the same planet, which is called Abeth. It's kind of an ice planet with only like 1 strip in the middle by the equator that's like habitable, basically. This book, I fucking hated it. I didn't know what was going on any of the time. I didn't care about any of the characters. The main character was really not like other girls and so unique, and she's not pretty, but like 4 boys fancy her in the book, and it's really weird. The relationships have about as much chemistry as my little toe. The plot went nowhere. There was no plot in this. The only interesting thing was the demons, and that's it. That's all I cared about. Most of it was just her roaming around doing nothing. I didn't care about any deaths. I didn't care about her brother. I hated this book. I'm so mad about it. However, Special shout out as well to The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which was an absolutely useless book, didn't need to be written. I hated it. Number 6 is the biggest surprise of the year. I'd have to give that to The Binding by Bridget Collins. This book, this is a contender for number 12, which is Most Beautiful Book as well, because look at this cover and look at the naked hardback. But this book is about... This book is set in sort of a Middle Ages type era where there's peasants. I might even be a bit more Victorian because there are cities and there are cars and things, I think. A lot of it's set in a farm out in the sticks. Emmett Farmer is our main character and he gets sent to be an apprentice bookbinder. But in this world, books are contraband, they're looked down upon, it's frowned upon to own books or to read books because books are actually memories. That's kind of the premise of the book. And I won't say any more because a bit in the premise actually kind of spoils some of it. But this really surprised me because I thought it was going to be full-blown fantasy, complete kind of like Sorcery of Thorns type energy. But really it's just a historical romance with kind of a fantastical twist. I did really enjoy this. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars because the first 100 pages are a bit of a slog. A bit like, I'm not really sure where this is going. I really hated one of the characters and he really annoyed me. But I carried on, I stuck through, and after that first 100 pages, I couldn't put it down. Number 7 is your new favourite author. So this could be an author that's new to you or a debut author. For this, I'd probably either pick Bridget Collins, who wrote The Binding, or Katherine Arden, who wrote Barron the Nightingale, because I really clicked with Bridget Collins' writing. She's got a new book coming out September, October time called The Betrayals, which I'm really interested in because it's going to be also a very pretty cover and a nice naked hardback, so I'm excited for that. I'm also excited to carry on with the Winter Night trilogy. Number 8 is your newest fictional crush. So I don't tend to get kind of fictional crushes. I don't really sort of obsess over characters or imagine them as my book boyfriend or anything. I tend to ship characters themselves with each other rather than like, oh, I'd want to be with him. The only one I can think of really is Colith from Fortuna, which is a new fairy romance book that, like, it's just great. Like, it's nice to kind of get out of a reading slump because I read a lot of fantasy, which is like heavy fantasy. And it's nice to get out of that by reading a bit of like light fantasy, which is mainly romance and a bit paranormal. Number 9 is your newest favourite character. This has to go to Ephraim T. Horn from Iron Gold and Dark Age, the new Red Rising trilogy by Pierce Brown. Ephraim is one of the new perspectives that you see in this new trilogy, and he is so funny. I just can't get over how funny his chapters are. I could not wait until I got another chapter from him because he gives me Ninth Doctor Christopher Eccleston vibes, which is helped along by the narrator who does a bit of a northern accent with it. He's really snarky, he's really funny, he's really clever, and he's a bit of a con man, he's a bit of a mercenary, and I just really enjoyed his chapters in this new trilogy. Number 10 is a book that made you cry. I'm sure a lot of you will have read this book and it will come as no surprise that it would be The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This book broke my heart. I read Circe first, despite her releasing that later after The Song of Achilles. I've always loved Greek mythology, like a lot of us do. You know, we grew up on Percy Jackson. The Song of Achilles was such a heartbreaking retelling. Madeline Miller's writing is just so poetic and it's so nice. I just found myself really caring about these characters. I was really rooting for Patroclus the whole time. Number 11 is a book that made you happy. This one is going to go to Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. I've really enjoyed this book, and despite it being really different compared to the film, which is one of my favourite films of all time, despite that, I really enjoyed it, and I was able to sort of separate it from the film and think this is its own story, it's its own version. I'm actually gutted that the mentions of Wales weren't in the film because I'd have loved to have seen Welsh representation in that film because so many people have seen it, so many people know it. Every time Howl went to Wales and his name is Howl in Wales, it just made me so happy to read. And now we come to number 12, Most Beautiful Book. This absolutely has to go to The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant, specifically the Illumicrate version. Just look at this cover. Look at that naked hardback. and with the black sprayed edges. You can't go wrong. And even the back, it's just beautiful. And the last question is number 13, books to read by the end of the year. Kingdom of Souls by Rena Barron. This is a book about a girl who is born to a powerful family of witch doctors, and she is born without their powers. In this, she turns to blood magic. I don't like to know too much about my books when I go into them, but this sounds really, really interesting. Next up we have Daughters of Nri by Reni K. Amayo. This is about two goddesses who grow up thinking that they are human, and they are twins separated from birth. I'm just really into that. I love gods, I love goddesses, I love powers, and I can't wait to see what this one is about. Next up is Angel Mage by Garth Nix, and this is the Illumicrate version. This is about angel magic. I know there's 4 characters and a villain who's trying to bring together these 4 characters for her nefarious plan. And I really, really love Sabriel by Garth Nix. It's one of my favourite books of all time, if not maybe my favourite book of all time. Really excited to see what he does with this book. Finally, we have The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. This is the sequel to The Poppy War, which is an insane book. It's so fucking good. Similar to City of Brass, everyone needs to fucking read it. I will hunt you down if you don't read this book. It's about a girl who gets into a state military school even though she's from poverty, but she's really clever, so she gets into the school. From there she tries to learn war strategy. One of the main things about this book is that they get high to commune with gods and use their powers. Who doesn't fucking want that? You need to read this sequel before the final book, The Burning God, comes out this November. And that's it for my mid-year book freakout tag, guys. Feel free to find me on other platforms. I'm on Twitter. I try to interact with loads of people. I'm on Chanel's Discord. I'm on Sam's Discord. I'm on Ben's Discord. Hopefully I can interact with you guys and meet some new people. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books as well and what you thought, or if you plan to read any of these books. Bye!